friends, welcome to the course of PHP and MySQLi CRUD tutorial. Inside this video, we'll discuss about client-side form validation. If I go back to browser, so inside last video, already we had seen the concept of validation, but that was our server-side validation. Let's click on Add Employee. This is our Add Employee form where we have some input fields like name, email, phone number and designation. I'm going to click on the submit button without any value, and here we can see our validation error messages. And these error messages are coming because we have implemented server-side validation. So what is the difference between server-side form validation and client-side form validation? So while implementation of this concept, we had seen that while adding server-side form validation means we need to submit our form first to server, then server checks the values if it is required. So on the basis of conditions, it gives output back to browser to display these error messages. So in between these cases, we are hitting our server and submits data. After submission of data, we get our validation error messages. But in case of client-side form validation, we are not going to hit our server. Instead, we are just handling our input values, our form data values at browser. In this case, there is no role of server. So inside this video, we will understand that if we want to actually implement our client-side form validation inside this Add Employee, so how to achieve that. The same concept you can actually implement inside Add Employee functionality, but this time we will see only for this Add Employee. So before that, we need to download a jQuery plugin file called validate jQuery plugin file, and that plugin file we will download and set up inside this project so that we can use its feature for client-side form validation. Go back to browser, let's type validate.mean.js. This is a plugin file name, means of minified version. Click here. Now you will get the first link, that is jQueryvalidation.org. Click on this link. Now here we have the website. Scroll down. We need to click on this demos, or simple as that. If we go here and type validate.mean.js, and if we type CDN, here we have the CDN libraries. Click on this first link, and inside this first link we can see here we have all of our jQuery.validate.mean.js library files. But I will go inside this website, click on demos. Once we implement or once we add our validation library plugin file with our application, it will look like this. Here we have the input values. Click on submit. Look at here, we are not submitting this form, but instead we are not getting any value. As we can see, we are getting our client-side validation. Inside this case, we are not hitting our server, and also page is not reloading. So let's go to source code, view page source, or press Ctrl U. Here we have the library called jQuery.validate.js. So I will simply click on that, and here we have the library file. Either we need to download, means click on right click on save as, and save this file into this JS directory so that we can link with our application. But for demonstration, I will go and use this CDN library file. So copy this URL, back to editor, open up addEmployee.php. Right here at this header, I will add one more script tag. So a script, and inside this let's add src, and here I am putting this CDN URL. Or one more thing, let's cut this script tag from here, go at the closing tag of body. Here is the opening tag, closing tag, and before that let's paste all these jQuery plugin files. After adding this plugin file, now we are able to access our validate method. So what is the use of validate method? Let's understand that. So before using the client-side form validation, first of all, we need to make sure that what are those fields that is required inside a form. So in this case, all these fields are required like name, email, phone number and designation. So before using validate, we need to add the required attribute. So here inside this name field, let's add required. Put it here for this email address required, phone number and designation. If you are not interested to add required attribute inside each of the field, also inside our validate method, we have a special rule called required, which we can add to implement all about the required property. But to be simplest, I'm going to add the required attribute inside each of the field. It means all these fields are required. Now next we need to put an ID of this form. So here we have the ID called frm-add-employee. Copy the form ID. Let's open our script tag again. Go here, function. This is the code of jQuery. Now here, this is the ID of the form and I will use validate method. This validate method is available because we have used this jQuery plugin file. If the CDN link is not added inside this file, then you will be able to get that something like validate not defined in your file. Now once you add, go back to browser, go and reload this page, click on submit button. Now you can see that we are getting red colored error message without submitting our form. If we go and let's comment this line, go and reload. If we click on submit button, then you will see that the page will be reloaded and the error message comes from server. Click on submit and this is HTML5 validation and it is coming because we have added the required attribute. Let's remove one more time. So I am removing, save all these changes, go and reload, click on submit. You can see the page reloaded. Look at here the refresh icon. You can see the page is reloading and these error messages are coming from server. But if we have added our validate plugin file, then there is no reload. Automatically browser will handle all, plugin will handle this form submission. If we click on submit, and as we know these all fields are required because we have added the required attribute inside each of the field, click on submit. Now we can see that we are getting red color error message. And this red color is because we have added a CSS at our head tag and that is of span tag right here. If we go and comment that, go and reload. So initially, if you will add this validation plugin file into your form, click on submit, you will get this black color error message. So to make it red, simple, this is all about our form tag, means form ID, and inside this form, if we inspect that, these error messages are coming inside a label, and inside this label we have our error class. So by the help of this form ID, like form ID and this class, we just added a small CSS color equals to red, and that's why these error messages are coming into a red color. I think it is not working, so let's save that, go and reload, and here we can see that. So this is all about how to add client-side form validation, but this logic we have implemented only for add employee. You can use this concept and add inside edit employee functionality, or if you have your own application, so this idea will surely help you to add your client-side form validations. Now for this video session guys, thank you for watching and have a great day.